you chose military, was it because you had older brothers that had done it? Are you guys kind of a military family, or was there another reason why you chose the military?
All of it. But the number one reason, I didn't want to be a burden to my mother. I can honestly say that. The youngest of 12, I've seen all my other brothers and sisters literally go off and do their own thing and become successful, become contributing members of society. It just all these I had all of these great people in my life, strong black men, strong black women. We grew up in the church. And when it came down to me, I was like, I am going to be a burden. I'm going to be a waste of skin. And so when I didn't know what I wanted to do, I just thought about my brothers who, when they joined the military, they talked about the biggest thing: accountability and respect. I was like, I want to be accountable for what I do. I want to be. That was the biggest thing. I want to be accountable for what I do, and then earn that respect. That I wanted from so many different people, from my brothers and sisters who, they were so much older than me. What I was looking for, they weren't going to give me, and they couldn't. They saw me as their child or a child, not as their brother, not as their, younger brother. I was looked at as their little brother. I didn't want to be that burden. I didn't want to be that small person. I wanted to carve my place out in the world. And when I saw the military, I was like, I can do all of this and be a burden to nobody. No one has to look at me and go, what is Mario doing again? I didn't have to do that. And I can honestly say probably the greatest decision I ever made in my life.
Yeah.
That was the one, I learned accountability. I learned respect for others and respect for myself, respect for this beautiful country. So I had nothing to complain about.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the military, like you said, since everybody's kind of equal, it gave the baby of 12 the equal playing field with everybody else, but also kind of an advantage too, because you kind of knew a little bit more than someone who was completely green to the military and didn't have no family or no mentors about what to expect.
Right. And my worldview, one thing I loved about it, it shaped my worldview to a point to where, um, yeah, it'll never be the same. Uh, I remember, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this term, but when I told people in the neighborhood that I was going to join the military, like, oh, you're going to join that white man's army. That was always the term: white man's army, white man's army. Um, and I know a lot of listeners may hate this. To some degree, it's true because it's predominantly white. That's just the world we live in. The military is predominantly white. But I learned that even among people who even they may look different than you, there are differences even among that. I rarely knew of people within the white race that were in that had different political ideas amongst themselves. I rarely saw that. But when I joined the military, it was everywhere. People who believe this and believe that and believe something totally different. Yet I never had to question their respect for who I was or what I was doing.
Yeah, because you guys are a
You know,
team, right? Like if you
you
don't,
have to.
it's life and death if you don't respect each other, right?
That's exactly what I would tell people. I told people all the time. I said, I don't care how many core values you can spread out. There's one value that if you lose this, we're done. This whole military collapses. They were like, "What's that, Sergeant Ruffin?" I said, "Respect. If you don't respect yourself, what you're doing, and the person you're working with, we're done. We might as well just all pack up and go back home." I said, "We're done." And they would just kind of look for a second. I said, "When you're out there in 130-degree weather, that's not an exaggeration. We've done it. 130 degrees. No one's come by to check on us with the water because they're checking on so many different other people. When all of that happens, if you don't respect the fact that I have to get this done, I'm held accountable for what I do. This is, they're looking for me to take care of this. I have to do my part. I have to respect my part in this vast, worldwide military that's understood to be the greatest in the world. Yeah, I probably need to fix this aircraft. And that's where it came from. That guy in finance, You know, if people say, "Oh, you don't do anything, you're not a maintainer," don't get paid. Let's see how important their job is. You know, or the guy that works at the dining facility where all of the younger airmen would eat. You mess up that food, you're going to get people sick. You have to respect and have an understanding of your part in that great machine. So that was one of the things that I think if you don't have respect, you're done. The, all of this falls apart.
Yeah. And the military is a brotherhood, right? So in the end, like obviously a lot of people have different beliefs, but if it's not a brotherhood, like if there's no respect, then I mean,
Mhm.
it's not going to work.
No, it's not. There's you just put it simply that way. You know, it's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, it's a mentoring program, it's everything. No, no. When you ask the question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" In the military, we say, "Hell yeah, I am, and I have to be because if I don't keep my brother won't keep me. If I don't keep my sister won't keep me." You know, do I look after them? Yes, and they'll look after me. And that's where that respect comes in. You have to respect your part in that whole thing. You have to respect their part in it. I have military people, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I cannot stand them. I do not want to be around them. I have no desire to. But if I hear they're in town and they need something, I have to jump up. You know, I don't know if you remember the old cartoon Mighty Mouse. He would just yell out, "Here I come to save the day." That's what I felt like I've had to do that. You know, I've been somewhere and, you know, hear from another military member that another military member is somewhere near and needs help. My first question is, "Well, where are they?" It could be something I do not like, and I've done it before more than once. Someone I don't want to be around, I don't want to have a conversation with, but it's that instinct that we're all on a level playing field. And if that brother or that sister is stuck somewhere and they have nowhere to go, and you sit on your behind, knowing you served with them, maybe not beside them, but you were both military. Yeah, that's it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. So that sense of camaraderie stays with you.
What branch of military were you a part of? And do you think that
Air Force.
the brotherhood reaches across every branch, or because I know sometimes, like I've had a friend that was a Marine, and he would, say, we're better than the Army, blah blah blah. Do you think the brotherhood, that respect, is within every branch?
Yes, I have experienced it. I have done it myself. I have worked with Marines, Navy, and Army. Not so much Coast Guard, but I've worked with those three branches on more than just a interpersonal, I'll help you out guy level. I've, you know, helped out whole battalions, whole squads. And so you don't, we talk a lot of trash. There's a meme that's out there, and it's a Goodfellas meme. And it shows the top where they're all laughing, and they said service members talking about each other. And they're all laughing and joking, and, you get. And at the bottom, it says, when civilians talk about us. And they're all serious looking at the camera like, hey, it really is like that. You will hear talk about grunts and jarheads. Those are Army and Marines. They'll talk trash about each other, especially the Navy and Marines. Talk mad trash about each other. We're fly boys or we're the chair force, because they say we don't do anything. But let someone else step in. Hey, when I was over at such and such, they were here to do this and blah, blah. You're like, oh my God, you were just talking trash about it. Well, brothers and sisters, I grew up in a family of 12. We can all talk about each other. Let somebody else from the outside talk trash. And it's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah. And you said you were part of the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do with the Air Force?
I was an electronic warfare technician.
Wow.
Basically, the simplest way I can put it, if you've ever seen Top Gun and they're flying and you hear them say, "Oh, I've been locked on, I have a bogey in this direction, blah, blah, blah," and they shoot out what they call countermeasures, you'll see a flare. That's usually what they talk about. To divert the missile, that was my job.
Wow. Okay. So you're
That,
you were Top Gun back when Top Gun was going on.
yeah. So,
Did that
yeah.
influence you to join the Air Force? The movie?
I'm going to tell you, it did not. But once I joined and I saw what I was doing and how it contributed to the pilots, it was one of those like, this is pretty cool. And so that shaped how I respected what I did. I was like, wow, there are pilots that would not be coming home if I don't do my job.
Right.